And welcome to the latest episode of Inside the Video Store. It's a warm one on Merseyside. It's a sticky one. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. We're heading into a heat wave. And after 3 very, very good weeks at the video store in terms of the number of films renting out, I think it might just dip a little bit this weekend, but rightly so. A few of my customers are heading away on holiday, and I hope they have the best time. So having a little bit of a self-imposed break from renting, as is the time of the year. I can only be envious of them jetting off to warm and sunny exotic locations as I toil away in the video store. But this job is a holiday just because I have no holidays, which people can't believe, but it's true. I don't have holidays. I haven't had a holiday for 20 years. But this job is a holiday. You know, so many people get up for work and they dread to go in, and I can only imagine what that's like. I'm still in a very fortunate position where I get up every morning and I'm clock watching to the time that I get into work because I'm so excited to come in here. Tell your face, says the audience. Well, you know, I have a sad resting face. Good. Got a video diary. Let's play the video diary first. Then we can talk about it and process what we've just witnessed. Sunday at Snips Movies, video diary week 3. Progress this morning. I shouldn't be on a Sunday morning, but the side hustle demands it, so here I am. So I figured I may as well get some little jobs done while I'm here. This full moon section here was about 6 inches to the left, so that had to be unscrewed today. It has a back plate behind it, which is like a massively thick back plate that had to be sawn from bottom to top. That's been done. It's been painted now. So that gives a far wider entrance to the new horror section when that bookcase finally disappears in about 10 days' time, 2 weeks' time. So yeah, that's progress. So the full moon section has shifted to the right, which means I have a bit more of an overhang here. But that's okay. I can deal with that. I will likely injure myself repeatedly walking into it, but that's okay as long as any customers don't do that. That's the main thing. So yeah, that's progress. We have the back plate for one of the new fixtures in the new horror section. I'm not going to put back plates on any of them apart from one, which is in front of the light switch, so that will need to be away from the wall slightly. So that's half of that has been painted, which you can see by that side, and just about to paint the other side. I'm listening to Frank Zappa all day, seeing as you just asked. Overnight Sensation. Can't go wrong. Then the next job, which is a bit of a nightmare job, is the last of my stash places. Up here, you know, you have stash places. Kitchen drawers are a classic. This is one of mine, my last one. I've been through every stash place in the store, from front door to back door, and I've just been brutal. I have one left because I have a shelf here that needs to come down. That needs to be removed. But if I just step up on here without killing myself, this has just got. Oh, I dread to think what is on here. Newspaper clippings, copy of Late Night with the Devil for no reason at all, books. I dread to think what's back there. But that needs to be emptied. This shelf needs to be removed today. So that will give me the opportunity to see what is going on up here. And it'll give me a little bit more of an indication on how tricky it will be to open this passageway up. But yeah, so hopefully I can utilize my Sunday in work quite well by removing this, by finishing the back plate, and yeah, and then tomorrow it's back to the timber merchant, even though my usual timber merchant has run out of the wood that I need. They haven't got any back in all week, so I'm having to go to a new timber merchant, which will probably trigger a bit of social anxiety, but we shall see. I will face that in the morning at around about 8 a.m. So yeah, progress report, all done. Success, we have cleared this section out. Look at it, filth, pure filth. But there we have the back of the current horror section. Yeah, and now we have the doorway into the new horror section. See? So you get me? So that will have to be removed, obviously. But the problem is that this shelf is, I don't know what my dad has done, but that is, Jesus, I have no idea how he's managed to wedge that in there, but it's going to be a nightmare to yank out. It's all in one piece as well, which is a huge piece of wood, but that's my next job. But yeah, you can see where things are going to go, can't you? So yeah, but look what was in it. Look at the perverse array of materials I've had in here. Just look at that. I mean, you've got the lament configuration, you've got a collection of newspaper articles. You have a side effects may vary face mask. You have an Ed Wood novelization. You have some spare. It's like the Generation game, isn't it? You have some spare VHS rental cases, which will come in handy. I found this, which was one of the original section dividers back in the day. So this must be 25 years old for us to still have videos, minimum. There we are, Snips DVD video and game. Who remembers games? But yeah, wow, video. I might use that, actually. Might use that. What else we got there? We have some Blockbuster video carrier bags. We have 7-inch single of the Lars. Feeling we have Seinfeld's, Jerry Seinfeld's puffy shirt. We have some Pride tape. We have some Google Pixel 8 box. We have some subspecies trading cards, a Roku box, and yeah, a cuddly toy. What a weird collection of stuff up there. And there is the big fella. Not only had my dad screwed it down, but he nailed it down and he glued it down as well. He said, I'll teach that fella just in case he makes any improvements or changes. I'll make sure he never removes this. So thankfully it is out. Stuck that in the car there, and we have light. We have light above this section. Also means I can get up here, peer down there, and we can kind of see what stands in between the horror section and freedom. There's the horror section, and there is the stud wall, which lurks below. But we shall tackle that in 10 days' time or 2 weeks' time. Yeah, good day. Monday in the Snips Movies horror movie section. Made it to the new timber merchant. A little bit anxiety inducing simply due to how busy it was, like 5 times busier than the one I usually go to, and I'm sure they didn't really take too kindly to some idiot sawing his little pieces of wood on the side when there were far more important clients going in and out. But there we go, we got it all cut. There's some more around there, so hopefully this afternoon, if I can pinch an hour or so between customers, we'll build this fixture here, the cross fixture there, and also the cross fixture above the door frame where the camera was. See how we do, fingers crossed. There we go. There we go, that's Monday's work done. That's Monday's work done. Cross sections in place, not locked in yet because I just want to make sure the back wall is fit. So just three fixtures to go tomorrow, 3 of that size, 9 shelves tall, 1, 2, 3, and then we can lock everything in and then start to paint on Wednesday, hopefully. A few people asking me when it's going to be completed. The answer is, I don't know. I'm hoping for 2.5 weeks maybe. But it's just been a perfect storm of work today. 88 have just been on the phone asking us to do another commentary by July the 5th. On top of a commentary that we're doing on June the 29th. And also I've got the final draft back of our Gary Graver biography. So I've got to read over that. Make the necessary notes because that is now ready for publication. So I need to get that back to the publisher. So yeah, I need to divert my attention briefly. But either way, these 3 fixtures are getting done tomorrow. The painting will begin in earnest, but it just may take some time. But no longer than 3 weeks by far. I had the index cards turn up today, the little index dividers, A to Z, for the horror section, and also I think I might be getting somewhere with an LED sign. So progress, it's been a good day. More progress, right on track, cooking on gas. There we have it. Tuesday evening, and we've completed the build. Every piece of wood is in place. They've all been secured, so they're mega solid. Look at that. Solid as a rock. And yeah, we're good. I reckon that if you bookended every film in here, obviously there's no films in here at the moment, but when there are films in here, if you bookended everyone, you can fit in 3,600, which is great because that takes the capacity to the store to just over 22,500. Not that we're at that stage at the moment, but if we ever did get to that stage, then that would be the case. Masking tape is down on the carpet. Painting is beginning tomorrow. I'm gonna take a full week on the painting, simply because I'm absolutely shattered. I've worked about, I think, 3 straight weeks, 21 straight days, 11 hours a day, and I'm kind of starting to flag a little bit. So I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to really take my time on the painting. We've got a heat wave coming up this weekend, so it's not really conducive to hard labor in a room with no windows and no air. So yeah, I'm going to take some time on the painting. I'm going to do an hour on Wednesday and then a little bit here and there between customers on Thursday through to Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll see where we are. But there we go. End of video diary this week, and we have a completed build. What do you think? What do you think? Give me your opinions. Let me know if it's what you envisaged. Is it what you thought it would turn out to be? I'm intrigued. I personally am very happy with it. I don't know if your brain works the same way, but whenever I set out to do something, I tend to have a picture in my mind of what the end game is. And that is exactly what I envisaged. I mean, to the brushstroke, it is precisely what I was looking to do. And I'm a little bit shocked that it's worked out so well, in all honesty, with so few hiccups and on schedule as well. I mean, find a builder that does stuff on schedule, you know? Yeah, but I'm absolutely over the moon with it. As I said in the video, I have sorted out a lovely neon sign, which is hopefully being delivered on Saturday. A lovely lady from somewhere that isn't Wirral phoned me the other day and just to arrange the specs. And yeah, absolutely over the moon. Let's talk budgets, though. I did mention the budget a few weeks back, so let's see how we're doing on that. And to be honest, I am a little bit over budget. I think I forecast the wood to cost £350. It's come in at £380. That's okay. So I think budgetary-wise, I think the plan was not to exceed £800 for the whole project. That included the lighting and the fitting and all that sort of thing. And I think it's going to come in about £850. I did have a budget of £100 for the sign. That actually came in at £45, which could be a bargain, but I haven't got it yet. So let's see what kind of quality it is. But overall, I couldn't be happier. Paint has been a lot. I've had to go through about 7.5 litres of paint. It's good stuff as well, but I am insistent on that. But yeah, £850 for the whole room, start to finish. Yeah, pretty happy with that, to be honest. I couldn't complain. Like I say, I wanted to do it all myself because I'm a irrational control freak, but also because it does keep costs down. And yeah, really content with it. There is one slight change, though. There is one slight change. You know that wall of fixtures that I built last? The 3 slightly shorter fixtures, because you got the recess, the roof comes down like that, you got the 3 shorter ones. I did initially say that was going to be for VHS, and I know a few of you are quite excited about that. A few of you are quite excited about browsing VHS. But to be honest, from an access point of view, I don't think it's the right move. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to put the box sets there. The box sets that are behind the counter, I'm going to put those there. I think it's the best thing to do because those box sets, however times, however many times I plead with people to say, look, you can cherry pick these, pick a few Shaw Brothers films, pick a few Godzilla films. The vast majority of you don't fancy that. And that's fine. I completely understand that. I'd probably be in the same boat with someone that looked like me. So I'm going to put them all in that room. I'm going to put them all in that room, and then people can pick them up. Obviously, I want you to wear rubber gloves first, and a face mask. And you can handle them, and tactile, and touch them, and read them, and slide them out, and don't drop them, or I'll and yeah, so you can do that. So I think that's the best thing. I know there is a few box sets in there that don't fall under the horror banner. Chantal Ackerman, David Lean, a few things like that. But I think I can blend it in a way that I can put all the horror box sets from there. I can put all the horror box sets from the indicator section together. And then anything that doesn't fall under the horror banner, I can put on the new fixture that will line the right-hand side of this corridor. That's the plan. I haven't worked out the logistics as to whether that is possible, but we'll see. So we're looking at a 2-week opening, around about the 2nd, 3rd, 4th of July. If everything goes to plan, that should be achievable, and that will be great. That will be really, really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it will change a lot of things. I think it'd be a great place for people to hang out and just relax. I think it will open up a lot more films for people who come here regularly that they maybe thought I didn't have or they never really spotted before. And yeah, I just think it will be a great addition. A great addition. I'm so pleased that it's gone so well. And hopefully the last 2 weeks can match the first 3 weeks and we can get it all wrapped up in the way I intend. Good. So what do we got coming up? Well, there's a fair bit to talk about, to be honest. Let's have a look at the new releases, though, shall we? Yeah, a few bits in this week. Oh, nearly fell. 3 contemporary releases, which all look pretty enticing, in all honesty. And then there's 5 boutique releases. Oh, incidentally, I got a text from Richard Elliott, who's the CEO of 88 Films. And he said, can you come and build our shelves in the office, please? I just haven't got time for that. I'm not open for commissions. God damn it. I have a job to do. I can't be coming to Leicester and building shelves for your office. But then again, if you make a sizable donation to the Snips Movies Fund, I might consider it. But, crazy. So this is what we got. We have Black Bag. We have a black bag for you. This is the new film by Steven Soderbergh, written, of course, by David Koepp, who did a lot of films with Spielberg, did he? I think so. But anyway, I've seen a number of his films, one of which I quite like. I think it was his directorial debut called The Trigger Effect with Elizabeth Shue. Might be making all that up. But Black Bag is a spy thriller. It stars Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender. I think who was it? I think Rob was in yesterday saying he didn't really fancy it, didn't really like it when he watched it. So I don't know. But yeah, that is in this week. 2 Blue and a DVD. Martin Freeman has a lead role in a film with Jenna Ortega, and this is a dangerous romance, an illicit romance between a teacher and his student. Not the kind of role you would automatically assume Martin Freeman to take, but it looks quite interesting. It's my cup of tea, to be honest. I do like an illicit affair. You know what I mean? That kind of sultry, seedy salaciousness. Intriguing. And finally, and the new ones is For Mothers. This comes out from the BFI. It's a film by Darren and Colin Thornton. It stars James McArdle and Fionnuala Flanagan. It sounds fantastic, about a novelist who's stuck caring for a load of older ladies while his friends go off on a Pride weekend. So sounds hilarious. A typical Irish comedy that's out on Blu-ray courtesy of BFI. So that's not a bad little selection at all. In terms of boutiques, this was a Warner Archive film I thought I had for some reason, but it just came out in the UK this week. I don't have it. I have it on DVD, but I haven't upgraded it. It is, of course, From Beyond the Grave, filmed by Kevin Connor, which stars Ian Bannon, Donald Pleasance, David Warner. They're all here. And yeah, is this a portmanteau? I think it is, isn't it? I can't remember. I'm sure I've seen it before, but I can't remember the specifics. But yeah, there we go. From Beyond the Grave, which is out on Warner Archive this week in the UK. 2 4K upgrades this week. 2 discs on 4K UHD. Darling is one of my favourite, one of my most popular renters in terms of 60s British classics. I had it on DVD. I think the Studio Canal or Optimum, something like that, for years. So I couldn't refuse this lovely dual format edition from Studio Canal on Blu-ray and 4K UHD. It is an impeccable film. Dirk Bogart, Lawrence Harvey, Julie Christie, directed, of course, by John Schlesinger. Lots of new special features, including an interview with Sofia Coppola, and an audio interview with Schlesinger himself. John Dankworth's score as well. But yeah, what a great release. That's Darling on 4K UHD and Blu-ray from Studio Canal. Also from Studio Canal. I think this did come out, didn't it, on a special edition 4K UHD a few months back. But it's now out on regular 4K UHD. Got it on DVD, got it on Blu. This is an essential film, so it only seemed right to upgrade it one more time to 4K UHD. The Third Man with Orson Welles. Finally this week on the boutiques, we have 2 from Eureka, Hong Kong 1941. Joins the Masters of Cinema collection, spine number 320. Stars Chow Yun-fat. It's a story of loyalty and love. I think it's a wartime story, isn't it? Obviously 1941, Jesus. But yeah, that is Hong Kong 1941, out this week on Blu-ray. And also we have a double bill of Shaw Brothers movies in The Eunuch and The Deadly Knives. That's written by Lo Wai, who, of course, wrote Fist of Fury. Nice. Yeah, I do love these double bills that they're putting out. It's rare for any of them to get an 18, but this has indeed got an 18 certificate. You don't see many 18s, apart from that one, these days. Interesting. Yeah, so that is what's come in the new releases this week. And got fluff and dust everywhere since I took that shelf down. Yeah, good week. Good week. Okay, let's have a look what's been going out. Again, it's another wealth of movies going out, as you can imagine, with how busy it's been. And it's another eclectic mix. One of my customers, Mark, has been going through some classic noirs. I do like that little noir section that I've put up. It's kind of a column by the window that stores probably about 40 or 50 noirs on Blu-ray, many from the Arrow Video Collection. And this is the one that Mark took this week. It's The Glass Key, which is one of the best noirs, isn't it? One of the best by far. Veronica Lake, Alan Ladd, a very famous collaboration. And yeah, it's a screenplay adapted from the novel by Dashiell Hammett. So, I mean, in terms of credibility, you don't get much better than that. That is The Glass Key. Interesting to see what Mark thinks of that. It's a great noir. I'm sure he'll love it. Broadcast News is renting like hotcakes at the moment. I think it's been mentioned on a couple of podcasts. It's great to see because it's a terrific film. It's a terrific film. I'm not sure how it stands up today in terms of TV news. I guess it would seem a little bit dated in that respect, but nevertheless, just a really, really good film by James L. Brooks. DP was Michael Ballhaus as well, Martin Scorsese's regular DP. Cassavetes keep on renting. Got a couple of customers on a Cassavetes bender at the moment. This went out to Liv and Ash, who have been through a number of Cassavetes films in the last few weeks, and they are really, really enjoying them. And like I say, it's so nice to see so many people watching John Cassavetes films. Like I say, I set up that Cassavetes section. Well, it must have been 15 years ago when I first saw his early films, like Shadows, for example. And I just love them. And I thought, well, no one's really going to be into John Cassavetes. And here we are 20 years later. And there are people that might not have even been born when I set up that section, are completely enamored with this director, that's a crazy thought, isn't it? Crazy thought. But it's like, you set up that horror section next door, and you're thinking, well, people might go for this, people might go for that, people might go for this. And you never think to yourself, well, people who aren't born yet might stand in this room in 20 years' time looking at these films. That's wishing your life away, isn't it? Weirdly, I had to go to Manchester today, which kind of put me behind on the painting of it. Lost about a day. I had to go to Manchester on business. And I was listening to Brian Sauer's podcast, which I do recommend if you just like great movies. The Pure Cinema podcast is fantastic. And they had special guest Larry Karaszewski, who, of course, co-wrote Ed Wood and a couple of films from Milos Forman. That's just talking about just riffing on 70s films, picking random 70s films, which is a great era. A lot of my customers really, really love that era in terms of renting films. And I forget who it was, but the conversation got on to Oliver Reed, and they picked an Oliver Reed film out from 77, I think it was. And I forget the name of the film. But they also Larry Karaszewski mentioned that one of the Oliver Reed films that he was on the lookout for years and years and years since he saw the opening credits as a kid. But he couldn't trace it. It took him 40 years to work out what it was. And it was The Party's Over. A Party's Over film from 1963. And it rented out this week. I think Roxy and Paddy took it this week, which is fantastic. So yeah, I was kind of sitting on the motorway in the car thinking, I'm sure that went out this week. And it did, of course. But yeah, The Party's Over went out. Flip side, like I say, I know it's hard when you're 65 episodes into this run of inside the video stores not to repeat yourself. But I don't care if I have to repeat it every week. The BFI Flip Side series is one of the best series of films in this store. Every one is a unique little classic. I had a new customer in coffee. And I don't tend to eavesdrop. I like to respect people's privacy. But I was over the other side of the store, and I walked past this lovely couple, and I heard one of them say, "Oh, they got an asylum section," and I've never heard that before. And that was just nice because the asylum section is a complete indulgence on my behalf. It's something that I presumed that it would just be me renting from that section, but they were over the moon with it, and Arachnoquake they rented, which isn't a bad film to be honest. Directed by Griff First, who is the son of Flounder in National Lampoon's Animal House. Griff First. No, I said that. Stephen First. Yeah, so connections there. Luke was in over the weekend, and he asked for rubber. He said, I'm desperate to see this film. I've heard so much about it, and I hope he really likes it. It's a great film. It's a really, really regular renter. This film goes out a couple of times every single year, and it's great to see it doing that because it is so much fun. And, of course, the late, great Wings Hauser shows up in this film as well, which is cool. I have 2 copies of Cruising out on loan at the moment. I have the Blu-ray out on loan, and I have the 4K UHD out on loan. I mean, just what a wonderful world we live in at times when 2 copies of Cruising are taken. Brilliant. I hope they enjoy it. I think they're watching it for the first time. So, yeah, that'll be great, waiting for feedback. And finally, good old Jake rented 2019, After the Fall of New York, set in the future, 2019. Directed by Sergio Martino. Jake rented this because Sergio Martino was flying over to make an appearance at Weird Worcester. Did anyone else go down to that convention? I know. Neil and Fallon did. Did anyone else make it down to Worcester to see all the Italian guys and Fred Williamson and a few other people? Let me know if you did. I'd like to know what you thought of the convention. But yeah, Jake was all pumped up to meet Sergio Martino, so he thought he must do some cramming the night before. I hope he had a great time. So that is the what's on the shelf? What's on loan? What's on the shelf? That'd be a long episode. What's in the box is next. We've got a big what's in the box, to be honest, and we're running out of time slightly. First, give a shout out to the wonderful James Allen, who was in our most recent episode of 5 Films, which is currently on sabbatical. It will be back after the summer, hopefully, if anyone wants to volunteer. No, people do want to volunteer. I've got Nathan up next to record an episode. But yeah, it's on sabbatical at the moment, just for a little break while I do all this stuff in the back. But I spotted on, I think it was one of James's stories that he's picked up the new Half Man, Half Biscuit album. And thank you for that, James. I didn't realize it was out. Mine came today. Can't wait to listen to raw plugs of yesteryear and all the relevant classics. If you're unaware of who Half Man, Half Biscuit are, they are the Wirral's most prominent band. Forget OMD. Forget the Coral. Bill Ryder Jones. Half Man, Half Biscuit are the Wirral group. Long-time John Peel favourite, and they are just epic and hilarious and wonderful. And their new album, All Asimov and No Fresh Air, is out now, and I've got my copy. Now, as you may well know, coffee. Myself and my writing buddy Marty Budrevich has been a fan of the esteemed movie director David Dakota for quite some time. I have a David Dakota section here, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy. We first got into him with the Full Moon Connection because I think he's directed more Full Moon for movies than anyone else. Creepazoids, Witch House, Prison of the Dead. And he's just had a really interesting career. Now, one of his, arguably his finest film, certainly artistically speaking, is a black and white queer cinema film called Leather Jacket Love Story. And I finally got it. This has been on my radar for years and years and years. Matthew Budrevich has had one for quite some time, and he wrote a wonderful article on the Schlock Pit about it. And here it is. This is the most I've ever paid for a DVD. I'm not going to tell you how much it was, but it was a fortune. And that's the reason I haven't bought it for quite some time. In fact, I even got in touch with David Dakota over the weekend, and I said, look, I've got your section. I've got everything, but I can't get this. It's just, everyone's asking a small fortune for it. And I said, look, can you just assure me that there are no plans to bring this out on Blu-ray at any time? I don't want to spend a fortune on a DVD and then for you or whoever to license it and, it to come out on another label. I thought that would just be a nightmare. So anyway, he wrote back and he said, no, no plans. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you my copy. Yeah, send you my copy, my last copy that I have in the house. I'll send it over to you. I said, you can't do that. I said, you can't do that. He said, but look, David, it's region 1. None of your customers could play it. I'm like, yeah, I know that, but I don't think it is region 1. So I emailed the seller and I said, look, is this region 1? And so I said, look, it's sealed. I can't tell you, but as far as I know, it's region 1. Anyway, there's no region coding on it. It's region free. It's a lovely, lovely gay romantic comedy, if that's your bag. It's great fun. It's great fun. It is arguably David Okoto's best film alongside Skeletons, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have a copy in here. Great film, great director, underrated director. Takes a lot of flack, does David Okoto, and he shouldn't, because he should be. He should have the credit he's due for being such a trailblazer. In 99, 00, and 01, really. Quite a filmmaker. Okay, moving on. Spinal Tap. I upgraded to Blu-ray. My DVD is faulty of this, and I had one of my customers' lot. They're asking if they could rent it, and I thought, let me just upgrade it to Blu-ray. So here it is. This is Spinal Tap. Fallon was after a Bill Forsyth film called Comfort and Joy. Couldn't say no to that. I think Bill Forsyth is a bit of a gap in my library. So yeah, there we go. Comfort and Joy in on Blu-ray with Bill Patterson in the lead. Another customer asked for this one. I forget. Oh, was it Paul Griggs? Paul Griggs asked for this. Young Sherlock Holmes, Barry Levinson's film, produced by Steven Spielberg. Didn't have it. Here it is, in on blue. Another one that Paul asked for, and his wife, was Escape to Victory. Escape to Victory didn't have this in. Weird. One of those perennial films on television, Michael Caine, but did not have it. Weird the things you overlook. Likewise with this one, to be honest, Walker. Bizarre. Didn't have this. Alex Cox, born literally in Bevington, where the shop is. I always presumed, for some reason, that it never got a release over here. I just presumed that. I saw the Criterion Blu-ray in America that's region locked. I thought, maybe it just hasn't come out over here. It had. It was out in a DVD courtesy of Universal that was out in 2003. And there it is. I know a number of my customers have asked for this, and it's great to finally have it. That's Walker, the Alex Cox film. Compulsion. I thought I had this, read it on a list somewhere over the weekend, reminded me that I didn't have it. Dean Stockwell, Orson Welles. The true story of those killers, Leopold and Lieb. And then also an indicator film I didn't have, again, someone asked for. Did Ben ask for this? I forget. The Passenger, Antonioni's film with Jack Nicholson. That is in as well. There we go. Full house. That's good, though. I'd like to say I think people initially were reluctant to ask for stuff, but I'm so glad they are, because it helps. It's so important that we all work together to create the most detailed and biggest and best and well-curated library here that we all can. And everyone has a piece of this place, whether they like it or not. So to get advice and suggestions from other people is so welcome. It really, really is. I love it. Vinegar Syndrome partner label releases came in this week. Quite an eclectic mix. I haven't really had time to look at them. The only one I had time to look at, well, I mean, how could you not look at this film? Scarecrow in a Garden of Cucumbers. It is the legendary Holly Woodlawn film. Now, this film was considered lost for years and years and years. A print was found. It was restored by the Academy Film Archive, and now it's been put onto Blu-ray courtesy of AGFA, the American Genre Film Archive. It's a great film. Holly Woodlawn is an icon. You all know Holly Woodlawn, whether you like it or not. If you've ever heard the Lou Reed song, Walk on the Wild song, Holly is the first line. Holly came from Miami, FLA. That's Holly Woodlawn. And she's great. She is a complete icon. Not a bad actress. And it's good fun, this film. It's good fun. If you get the blue, you also get the notorious porno parody of Jaws, which is called Gums, which has a rather remarkable performance from Brother Theodore in it. Brother Theodore, you may remember, was in Joe Dante's film, The Burbs, as one of the Klopeks. But yeah, loved to watching that. That was absolutely fantastic. What else is in from the Agfa partner labels? We have Kill the Moonlight. Kill the Moonlight is in from... Who's that? Factory 25. I think it was my first Factory 25 release. But yeah, it's from 1992, but it's described as a twisted 16mm Gen X comedy disguised as a 70s drive-in flick. Sounds quite unique. Yeah, a contender to the ranks of bargain basement breakout hits like Stranger Than Paradise. Wise, moody, and graced with kinetic camera work. A beautifully flawed slacker classic. Yeah. Oh, this is an interesting one. This is a modern day film, isn't it? It's a contemporary film, 2025. Interesting cast. We've got Ken Foray and Tim Thomerson, the iconic Tim Thomerson from Trances. Tim Thomerson is the samurai priest vampire hunter, and he's on an epic chase to track down a clique of vampires. Anyway, new release from ETR Media. ETR put out some really good stuff of late, and this looks to be one of them, as Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. Now, this is a big one. This is GEP 001, Glass Eye Pix 001. Now, if anyone is a fan of low-budget horror movies, then Glass Eye Pix will be all too familiar with you. It is the label, of course, set up by Larry Fessenden, icon in B-movie horror movies. And this is one of the Glass Eye Picks from 2006, set in the distant future. It's a bit of a sci-fi. It's directed by James Felix McKenney, and Angus Scrimm is in it, the tall man from Phantasm. Final Cut is out from Eureka, which is a bit of a duplicate from me, as it's also in one of the Ozploitation box sets that I've got. Whoops. From Bleeding Skull, which is a few people's favorite label, we have Ciro, Alien Hitchhiker. This one's from 1996, and it's described as if the B-52s collaborated with Negativland on an alt-Earth version of Star Trek, it would feel a lot like Ciro, Alien Hitchhiker, a mixed media hallucination from filmmaker Patrick McGinn. Nice. That will be quite unusual. The Killing Tide has been met with quite a lot of excitement with the latest from VHS Hitfest. Again, it's a 90s film, I believe. And it's described as one of the greatest low-budget action films of the 1990s. Sounds great. But that is The Killing Tide, a film by David Dubay. And finally, in the partner label releases for June, we have the second volume of AGFA's Scare Film Archives, Danger Stories. 13 shorts, just over 4 hours, and it is just a load of great educational films. Mr. Flame, Safety Harm Hides at Home, The Dangerous Stranger, Farm Petroleum Safety. All the classics are here. And yeah, that sounds great. So when I have a spare 4 hours, I will put that to the top of the list. And I'm just about to reorganize my boutique partner labels, so I will sort those out soon. Okay, finally, just got a few minutes to run through some comments for you. What about Neil says, regarding the new horror section, Nightmare Alley is a cool shout. It is a very cool shout. And his suggestion would be physical fear. I like physical fear, Neil, but I think I think it has to be something that just welcomes people. And I think the horror section is just the best thing. Corey says, horror room looks great. Most of my shelves are from when Borders bookstores went out of business. No, that's a handy thought. Daniel says, I'm so going to copy these shelves. It looks simple, sturdy, and practical. I own a fairly big movie collection, and I need another shelf solution. I'm done with Billy. Who's Billy? Ah, Billy Bookcase. Yeah. I don't know. I just think if you've got the time, well, okay, maybe not the time. If you've got the capability, which everyone has, I just think that doing it yourself is such a great way to do it. Rob's wife, Ange, says that I should have a launch party for the horror room. That's a great idea, Rob. But yeah, just the idea of that social circumstance, social situation just fills me with absolute terror. But I do like that idea a great deal. And I will mull it over for the next 10 days and then probably decide against it. Although Rob does have a really, really, really good idea about having a dedicated director's section within the horror room. I was saying last week about John Carpenter being in the director's section and staying there, Wes Craven being in the director's section and staying there. But those should be really in the horror room. So maybe in phase 2, once everything's in, once we work out what space I've got in total, then I may create a specific director's section within the horror room. So we can have Carpenter, Craven, we can have Toby Hooper, a director's collection for the first time. We can have Larry Cohen director's collection for the first time. We can have Stuart Gordon director's collection for the first time. And people like that, even Larry Fessenden, who I just mentioned, last winter and stuff that he's done. So yeah, I may dwell upon that. I do like the idea of collecting filmmakers' films, especially in the horror genre. But a lot of horror filmmakers, of course, have gone on to work in other genres, so it complicates it a bit. And you don't want a director's collection with 5 directors in. So why don't you tell me, people, if you were to have a director's collection in the horror genre, which horror movie directors who have done predominantly horror films would you have in? Let me know. How about Kruger's Alley? Yeah, it's nice, Adam. Nice, Adam. Roxy says, yeah, she says the horror and an arrow is all you need. Is all you need. Will the VHS be rentable? Yes, it will. Absolutely. I'd love to send some of these VHS out just for them to stretch their legs. Really, so many of them I've seen and might not get around to again. So it'd be great for other people to get some use out of them. She also recommends the Satanic Panic Fab Press release by Keala Janice. Great author. Stephen says, do I rent out the scratch and sniff card that comes with polyester? No, sadly not. Al says, you're doing a great job. Looking forward to the end product. Ideal name for the horror section is Where Nightmares Become Dreams. Yeah, it might be a tad long. Unfortunately. Jake has always wanted to see Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, although he may have to wait a little while as it rented out the other day. Thanks, Jake. What else we got? Chris Ward, says he started out in the timber trade when he left school. The video reminded me of an old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once, which makes a great deal of sense. Phil Abernathy says that video has given him the confidence to make his own custom shelves. Well, that'd be great, Phil. I really hope you do. And let me know if you do as well. Phil also says he'd be interested to see the Mumblecore section. There are some gems, but not my favorite film movement of all time. In Search of a Midnight Kiss and The Puffy Chair are highlights for me. It was a section I started 20 years ago. I just thought it might grow a little bit more, but it didn't. So I think there's only 9 or 10 films in there. But, you know, just the usual suspects. Hannah Takes the Stairs. Um, you know, a few other bits that I completely forget. Oh, Mama's Man. Yeah, Mutual Appreciation was another. Um, yeah, it's a good little section, but yeah, I think they might have gone. Adoyo says Sugar Cookies is great, bleak but brilliant. Bleak but brilliant is exactly my cup of tea. Oh, and James says that he's checked out the Strange Vice website. We do love a bit of Strange Vice over here. Ordered himself a copy of Grow Up. Grow Up Tony Phillips. Bit pricey. Yeah, it is a bit pricey, but every import is pricey at the moment. And we all know that many politicians to blame for that. And finally, Indie Phantom Sofa Cinema says the simplicity of horror and a flashing light or arrow is the best and simplest solution. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, it is. It is. Sometimes simple is the way to go. Right, it's late. It's 7:15. Another 11-hour day. And it's home time. So I will catch you soon. I'm going to get the paintbrush out tomorrow if it's not too busy and try and dip in the back and hopefully get all the painting done by Sunday. And then next week, it's time to think about moving stuff. Exciting, exciting, exciting times at your local movie rental store. I'll keep you all updated and let me know your feedback and thoughts and suggestions and comments and questions and everything you need to in the section below. Thank you for watching. Sorry for rambling, and I will see you in 7 days' time.